Good evening, everyone. We'll be looking at performance management (PM). Now, our topic for tonight will be management of receivables and payables. This is one of those topics introduced by ICANN in 2019 syllabus. So, seeing as our previous topic, which is working capital management, is also a new topic being introduced in the ICANN syllabus. Now, this topic is flowing from our last topic, which is working capital management. Now, I want to know how can we manage our receivables and payables. Now, our receivables is the same thing as our trade payables and our trade receivables and our trade payables. How can we manage them? Because they are very, very important in any business organization. That means without an efficient management of these two as current asset and current liability, the company might suffer a big loss in terms of which might affect its annual profit. Now the content is cost and benefits of giving credit. Why would companies give credit? Some companies don't give credits, like supermarkets. When you go to any supermarket, you buy and you pay on cash basis. So it's not credit. Now, why will company give credit? And what is the benefit of giving credit? And what is the cost that the company will incur for giving credit? Another thing we'll talk about is the management of trade receivables. How can the company manage trade receivables? How can you manage your debtors? If you cannot manage your debtors, there will be loss of cash, because you will need to purchase your goods from your suppliers. Then how will you sell to your customers on credit and buy from your suppliers with cash? So there's a discrepancy doing that. That means that your liquidity is being reduced. So you must ensure that you manage your trade receivable adequately. Another thing we talk about is debt factors and invoicing discounting. What is debt factors? Debt factors and invoicing discounting. So it's a subtopic we should be able to understand. Then the fourth is a settlement discounts. Settlement discount. This is just like our prompt discount. That means when companies say that gives a discount, a cash discount for prompt payment of in account. So what will around that percentage of discount? Is it favorable? Is it adverse? How will company calculate that discount? See, this is where we should be able to understand after the end of this topic. Management of working capital for foreign trade. So we want to know how can we manage our working capital for foreign trade. In the management of trade payables, and how we manage our trade payables. We say to manage our trade receivables. Now let's flow from our content of the topic. Cost and benefits of giving credit. Business entities that sells to other businesses normally sells on agreed credit terms. That means many companies, when they issue invoice, the invoice is on a credit terms. I mean, invoice is not a cash, it's not a receipt for purchasing an item. It's always a demand that you want to purchase a goods. So that one is invoice stipulates a trade a credit transaction. But then when you now pay, you'll be given a receipt. Receipt is always for when cash is being paid. That's when you have a receipt. So you know the difference between an invoice and a receipt. Now, often standard credit terms are applied for most business transactions, such as 30 days or 60 days from the date of the invoice. Most sales to customers are for cash, but some businesses might even sell to customers on credit. So on the invoice, there will be at the footer or at the elder, any of the two, The company might say mostly is always at the footer. The credit limit, the period in which they must pay the invoice value, the credit limit in which the company is giving is debtors or a trade receivables they should pay on their account. Now, what is the benefit of giving credit? Why would company give credit? By giving credit, sales volume will be higher. So in most cases, when credit terms, when credit period is being increased, there will always be an increase in sales volume, because people that want to purchase goods before that don't have cash, they might buy when they see that there is a credit given by the company. So sales volume might increase. Higher sales volume results in a higher contribution and higher profit. Now, when sales volume increase, there is tendency that the contribution of the company might also increase, because there is an increase in sales volume, and that should now lead to increase in net profit. If a business does not give credit to customers are likely to buy from competitors who do offer credit. I mean, if a company does not give credit, there will be loss in sales volume, or there will be a reduction in sales volume. So many customers will go and purchase from their competitor. So what is the cost of giving credit? Giving credit, having a trade receivables, comes with a cost the company will bear. So the cost must be also be evaluated alongside with the benefit, to know if the company might not give credit or we continue giving credit. Cost of giving credit. There are several costs of giving credit. One, finance cost, which is an interest charge. Which is also interest charge. Now, this finance cost, there is a finance cost, which is a trade receivables must be financed. That means when you give credit, then how will you finance your trade receivables? So when you give credit, now you say on credit, then you also purchase on credit, because when you say on credit, you can also purchase on credit. Now, if your supplier does not give on credit, that means you need to sell on cash in cash basis. You need to say in cash basis, and you want to, instead of selling in cash basis, you choose to sell on credit, and you have to go and borrow in a short time, overdraft, in order to finance your trade receivables. The longer the period of credit allowed to customers, the bigger the investment in working capital would be. The cost of investing in trade receivables is usually calculated as average trade receivables in the period times the cost of capital for the period. Now, the finance cost, which is the interest the company will go to incur for selling on credit, the interest, because which is almost equals to you go and borrow money from the bank. That means your trade receivables times the cost of capital is your finance cost, is your interest charge. So your interest charge is always your trade receivables times the cost of capital. It should be expense, should be deducted from your contribution. Another thing another cost is your bad debt cost, cost of bad debt. Giving credit might lead to bad debt. That is, your debtors might not pay their account, might not pay on their account, might not pay the money they own the company. So that is also a cost to the organization, and expenses to the organization. Selling on credit creates a risk that the customer might never pay for the goods supplied. The cost of bad debt is usually measured as the amount of sales revenue due from the customers that is written off as non-collectible or non-receivables or non-recoverable. And another thing that will incur is administration costs, because when you sell to your debtors, as your customers on credit, it means that you will incur some administrative expenses in order for you to collect the money from them. That means you must keep calling them, must keep reminding them that they owe you so that they will pay you. So all these costs that you incurred for monitoring the debt, the trade receivable, they are what? They are administration costs. Additional administration costs might be incurred in negotiating credit terms with customers, in monitoring the credit position of customers, in dealing with problems about the cost of trade receivables. You should consider only the incremental administration costs incurred as a consequence of providing credit So illustration 1. Now let's look at this illustration 1 for you to understand more better the effects of the cost and benefits. Now, Green Company currently offers customers 30 days credit. The annual credit sales are 12 million naira. The contribution sales ratio is 25%, and bad debts are 1% of sales. The company Green Company currently offers customers 30 days credit. Annual credit sales are 12 million. The contribution sales ratio is 25%, and bad debts are 1% of sales. The company has estimated that if it increased credit to 30 days, total annual sales would increase by 10%. The bad debts would rise to and the company has estimated that if it increased credit to 60 days, total annual sales will increase by 10%, but bad debt would rise to 1.5% of sales. And the cost of capital for Green Company is 9%, which is the interest charge. The cost of capital is 9%. Assume that a year has 360 days. So when we are not giving this assumption, we should always use 365 days. But except you are giving an exam, we shall assume that a year is 360 days. You are required estimate the effect on annual profits of increasing the credit period from 30 to 60 days. So we want to know the effect in the annual profit. How would increase in credit limits affect our annual profits? So the effect of increase in credit from 30 days to 60 days on annual profit. So how will it affect our annual profit? Now we are told that the annual sales will increase by 10%. So which is from when the credit limit is 30 days, the annual sales is 12 million. When it increases to 60 days, the annual sales will increase by 10%, which is 12 million times 1.1% or 1.1, which is 13,200,000. Now after we have this, the next thing is to do is to from our we are giving our contribution to sales ratio, which is 25%. Then using that, we will be able to calculate our what, our contribution, because we want to know our annual profit. That is annual profit. And how we get annual profit, you must get your contribution, then less your finance cost, then bad debt, before you arrive at your annual profit. So we want to know the effect of the increase in the credit limit. So our contribution, well, there will be an increase in the contribution. So our contribution will be the 12 million times 25%, which is 3 million for 60 days. Then for 30 days rather. But for 60 days we will have 30.2 million times 25%. So this is we have 3,300,000. So the effect is 300,000. So there will be bad debt, because we are told that our bad debt is, let's confirm, we are told that our bad debt are we there? I told our bad debt is 1% of sales. 1% of sales. So whatever the sales will be, we will take 1% as bad debt. Then bad debt will less bad debt from our contribution. So 1% of sales is our bad debt. So we have we are told that bad debt will also increase to 1.5% of sales. 1.5% of sales. So we will now sell our new sales, which is 13.2 million times 1.5%. So we have So we have 1.5%. So we have 1.5%. 1.5% times 13.2 million would give us 198,000. So the effect in both of them, which is 120 minus 198,000, we have 78,000. So the next is we should look at the finance cost, the finance charge. And we are told that our finance charge is our trade receivable times cost of capital. I repeat, our finance charge is our trade receivable times cost of capital. So let's do our trade receivables. So remember our trade receivables, calculation of what? Annual trade receivable, which is the 60 days, the 30 days over 360 times the sales value, which is 12 million, which is the credit limit over 360 days times 12 million. So for 30 days, our trade receivable is 1 million. While for 60 days, our trade receivable is what? 2.2 million. 2.2 million. Then our finance cost or cost of capital is 9%. So 9% of 1 million is 90,000. 9% of 2.2 million is 100 and 198,000. 198,000. So by the time we look at the effect, the changes in both days, it will be 108,000. It will be 108,000. So when we subtract this from this, we will have 114,000, which is the net annual profit increase. So the profits increase from 2,790,000 to 2,904,000. So the net increase in profit is 114,000. So the effect is that the profit increase by 114,000 due to increase in sales and gross profits that would occur. So with this, we've solved illustration 1. So let's continue from our the management of trade receivables. How can we manage our trade receivables? Giving credits to customers result in higher costs. So that's what we said. So there will be a finance charge. So when you give credits to customer, so as long as you give credit to customer, the trade receivables you want to receive times the cost of capital will give us the cost of the cost of giving credit, which is the finance cost. In particular, higher interest cost and some bad debt. So these are the 2 or 3 main items that or expenses that the company will suffer when giving out credit. These costs must be kept under control. To do this, trade receivables must be properly managed. So those costs, those 3 major costs, must be controlled by the organization. So good management of trade receivables involve system 4. So how can we manage our trade receivables? Say 1, deciding whether to give customers credits and how much credits to give them. So before any business give credits to his customer, or before somebody give credits to any individual, you must analyze the credit worthiness of that customer or individual. You must know, and using other parameters such as its financial statements and the rest, to know if giving that customer credit worth it or not. So in financial management, there is this company that rates companies due to their risk, their credit risk. So you must always look at the credit risk of companies. Mostly they are PLC, publicly listed companies. So by S&P 500. So they analyze credit. 2, monitoring payment. You must monitor payments. So that is a good way of managing trade. You must monitor payment. So always make some calls, reminder, in order to ensure that your debtors they paid on their account. 3, collecting overdue payment. You must ensure overdue payment is being collected from our customer. So it should be collected from our customer. Giving credit. There should be procedures for deciding whether to give credit to a customer, and if so, how much. So by way of procedure, the procedure should differ between existing customers wanting extra credit and new customer asking for credit for the first time. So there must always be procedures for giving credit for an existing customer and a new customer. This is because existing customers already have a credit history. So because you've already understand our customers, our existing customers, so they have a credit history. So we should understand our customer very well, and know our existing customer and how much credit we should be able to give them, or in which they can repay as when due. So a company knows from experience whether an existing customer is likely to pay on time or might have difficulty with payment. When deciding whether or not to give extra credit to an existing customer, the decision can therefore be based largely on whether the customer has paid promptly in the past, and so whether on basis of past performance the customer appears to be a good credit risk. For a new business customers, the variety of credit check might be carried out. So for a new customer, this is what you should be able to look at before giving credit to new customers. One, asking for trade reference from other suppliers to the customers who already give credit. So you must ask for reference like this, like somebody should refer them, somebody should guarantee them. You should ask for, okay, your suppliers, your previous suppliers, they should write to us and tell us that, okay, this particular company will pay his debt as when due. So due to from the other suppliers, we will now be assured that the customer will pay its account. Asking for a reference from the customer bank. So you must always ask for a reference from the customer bank. So like let the bank vouch for the customer. So a bank reference is also an ideal procedure in analyzing credit worthiness of a new customer. Making credit check to discover whether any court judgments have been made against the customer for non-payment of debt. So you must also analyze or investigate the customers if there is any court case on the customer on non-payment of what debt. Credit checks on small businesses can be purchased from credit reference agencies. So only look at their credit risk. For business customer, ask for a copy of their most recent financial statement and carry out a ratio analysis. So for business customer, we must ask for their financial statement and carry out ratio analysis to know the liquidity and the profitability. So if they are liquid enough to pay their accounts, using reports from the customer statement. So you must always ask for the customer statement. What are those reports? Can they sell their goods? Are they will they sell the goods? So you should be to ask for the customer statement. Credit terms set for each customer will consist of one, a credit period. You must look for a credit period. The credit period. When we say credit period, credit period is the days. Because the customer should be required to pay invoice within a selected number of days. While a credit limit is the maximum amount of credit that the customer would be permitted. So the credit limit is the maximum amount a customer will be permitted to receive or collect. 3, interest charge on overdue payment. So we should be able to charge interest on overdue payment. That means if they have to pay in 60 days, after 60 days we should be able to charge interest on it. That means they will pay the principal amount and also pay the interest for not paying as at when due. So it might also be a condition of giving credit that the customer agrees to pay interest on any overdue payment. Monitoring payments. So how can we monitor payments? A company should have a system for monitoring payments of invoices by customers. A regular report should be produced listing the unpaid debts, and which of these are overdue. This report might be called an age debtor list or age receivable list. So we should be able to categorize our debtors based on the credit period. So in order to know the unpaid debtor and the one that is overdue. Effective collection of debt. So how can we collect our debt? Procedure for efficient debt collection include the following. What are the procedure in which company can follow in order to collect debt? 1, sending invoices to customers promptly as soon as the goods or service have been provided. So only send invoice to them as when due promptly. So once they mail you for the goods, as long as you dispatch the goods, send them invoice, sending regular statements to credit customers showing how much they own in total and how much is currently due for payment. So you should always send them statements, remind them of their account. This is how much they are owing and how much is what overdue or is due. Ensuring that credit terms are not exceeded and the customer is not allowed to take longer credit or more credit than agreed. So you should be to know that the credit terms is not exceeded. So you should not give a customer above their credit limit. So that is also a procedure for chasing overdue payments. Now, you've already dispatched the goods to them, giving them the credit period. The credit period is now lapsed. So you need to they are now overdue. So how will you collect the overdue payment? Say one, telephone calls. Always call them. Reminder letter. Always send them a reminder letter. Taking a decision without further suppliers and further credit until an overdue debt is being paid. So stop any transaction with the customer until they pay their account. So in extreme cases, measurement might be taken. Okay, after taking this minor or usual procedure for chasing overdue and they still not pay their account, so you can go beyond this. These are an extreme cases. One, using the service of a debt collector agency. These people I mean, by selling your debtor to your debt collector agency, a finance house. So you sell your debtor to them. The finance house pay you the money. Now the finance house will not be in charge of the debtor. They will not have to monitor the debtor by themselves using their own procedure. Always, this extreme cases is always it has a negative implication on the company, on the company's goodwill. On the company goodwill. 2, sending an official letter from a solicitor threatening legal action. So doing so, you can also involve your lawyer. Selling the third one is what? A legal action. Now you have to take a legal action. Take them to court. You have to forcefully collect the debt. Bad debt and reducing bad debt. Now what is bad debt and reducing bad debt? How will you reduce bad debt? Bad debt are an expenses in the income statement and have a direct impact on profitability. So when bad debt increase, profitability will reduce. But when bad debt reduce, profitability will increase. A company should try to minimize its bad debt while accepting that even with efficient collection procedure, some losses are unavoidable. For example, some customers might become insolvent and go out of business, still owing the company. So there are several ways in which bad debts can be reduced. So how can we reduce bad debt? So one, more extensive and careful credit checking procedures when deciding whether to give credit to customers. 2, more efficient collection period. So when the company increase its collection period, what is more efficient collection period? Then 3, reducing the amount of credit in total. Reducing the amount of credit in total. So as the total amount of credits given to customers increases, there will be an increase in cost of bad debts and the proportion of receivables that bad debts. Reducing the total amount of credits will therefore reduce the bad debt. However, reducing the amount of credits to customer will probably result in lower sales revenue and lower gross profit. Now, when you want to reduce bad debt, that means using this procedure by reducing your credit sales, that means there will be a loss in what contribution. That means you will reduce your contribution. So let's look at the effects in reducing our credit period. So illustration 2. Pogba PLC has annual sales of 20 million naira, and all customers are given credits of 60 days. Gross profit on sales is 40%. Currently, bad debts are 1.5% of sales. The cost of capital for Pogba PLC is 10%. Management is concerned about the high level of bad debts, and they estimate that by reducing the credit terms to 60 to 30 days for all customers, bad debts can be reduced to 0.5% of sales. However, total sales revenue is likely to fall by 5% as a consequence of making the credit terms less generous. So you are required to calculate the estimated effects on annual profits of reducing the credit terms from 30 days to 60 days to 30 days. Now let's look at the effect. So let's look at the solution to this illustration. Now the Pogba PLC. Now we want to reduce our credit terms from 60 days to 30 days. Now by reducing it, our annual sales will decrease. Our annual sales will also decrease. We are told our annual sales will decrease by 5%. So our annual sales when it's 60 days is 20 million, but when we reduce it, it will be what? 19 million, which is 20%, 20 million times. So when you less 5% from your 100%, because 100% is the total, then we reduce it by 5%, so which is 95%. So our sales will now be what? 95% instead of 100%. So 9% of the 20 million, we have 19 million. So when we have our sales, what test is for us to calculate our contribution. So by reducing sales, we are told in our explanation that there is also a reduction in contribution, which is a loss. So the reduction in the loss of contribution, which is our contribution to sales ratio is 40%. So we have 20 million times 40%, which is 8 million. While the other one is 19 million times 40%, which is 7,600,000. 7,600,000. So the next thing is our bad debt. We are told that our bad debt is want to reduce our bad debt from 1.5% to 0.5%. And our bad debt is on sales. Bad debt is on sales. So that's why we have 20 million times 1.5%, which is 300,000. Then 19 million times 0.5%, which is 95,000. So we have 205,000. So now another thing is that we look for the finance cost. As long as we are giving credit, there will always be a finance charge. Always remember this. Once we are giving credit, there will always be a finance cost. Which is the finance cost is our trade receivables, our average trade receivables times the cost of capital. So let's look at our calculation of our average trade receivables. So our 60 days, which is a current average trade receivable, is 60 over 365 days. 365 days times 20 million times 20 million. So we have 3.29 million naira. So this times our finance cost. Our finance cost is 10%. So we have 329,000 naira. Why for 30 days? When we reduce it, our receivable have reduced to 1.56 million naira times our finance cost is 156,000 naira. By the time we look at the total, our total the effect in profit. The effect in profit is now 22,000. By doing so, this is a loss. And when there's a decrease in bad debt, is an income. So a decrease in interest cost it's also an income. By the time you compare it with a loss, so there is a loss of 22,000 naira. So note the effect of offering stricter credit terms would be to reduce annual profit of by 22,000 due to the loss in sales and what gross profit that would occur. So because we reduce our annual our credit limit, so there's also there is an equivalent reduction in our profit by 22,000 naira. So our next class we will start from trade receivable administration. So let's talk about debtor factoring and invoicing discounting. Okay, maybe our next slide will start from debtor factoring. So we will now explain the meaning of debtor factoring and the meaning of invoice discounting, the meaning of debtor factoring and the meaning of what invoice discounting. So looking at these two solutions, let's draw the curtain and end the class for tonight. Good night and God bless you.